Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Finding enlightenment according to Buddhism. Etang santang, etang panetang, yadidang sabba sankhara samuto, sabbopatipati nissaggo, tanhakhayo, virago, nirodho, nibbana. This is peaceful, this is excellent, namely, the stilling of all preparations, the relinquishment of all assets, the destruction of craving, detachment, cessation, extinction. This is the short explanation of enlightenment. If you look into the world closely, we find that some people are very poor, some people are rich, some people have full body, some people are disabled. What is the reason? If God made the world, he is a very unjustified person. So, look at our bodies with so many ugly things, and it flows with ugly things always, like faces, urine, sweat, phlegm, snot, etc. God could have made it with attractive things. And another example. In the old edition of the Bible, people try to go to heaven by Babel Tower. So God was a frightened, disabundant human. There are things to think. Namely, after 2-3 kilometers, people did not have an atmosphere to breathe in. Why didn't God know about it? According to all edition of the Bible, God is a heinous person. Buddhism has an explanation to different people. It's according to their past and now merits and unmerits. Why some people have a short lifetime and someone else a long lifetime? Because they killed and harassed beings. Why did someone lose his or her wealth at unexpected times? Because of they stole others' belongings. Why some marriages are bad? Because they committed adultery in previous lives. Why someone shirked from social? Because they told so many lies. Why someone imbecile and stupid? Because of they had drinks and drugs. Normally, if someone did this, they can have two kinds of rebirths, namely fire hell and animals world. But someone have so many merits than it. They will be reborn as a human as mentioned above. I will explain how to be saved from this. God is also under the nature protocol. If their merits overgain, they come to hell or human world according to their last consciousness. Please think for a moment with an unbiased mind. Where you came from? Where are you going after death? Who are you? Why you are in this position? What is it going to do for you? Now, your body wasn't like when you were young. In this moment, so many people are gasping for death. Some people meet with accidents in vehicles and are disabled. Somebody is ailing from hunger. Someone is facing natural disasters. Someone is facing unexpected heinous harassments and assassinations. We are not going to be saved from those things. We don't know when we have to face this. Recollect your past. How many expectations you had. But what now become true? Well, that's why Buddha told that the life is a downhill thing. However, Misled people embrace the suffering by hounding expectations and desires. Again, think with a clear mind when someone comes to the world by crying. But foolish people become happy about this. That baby was in a very ugly place before coming to the world, and he wants to stay with his feces and urine in his infant lifetime. Then he have to learn hard. Then have to do a job very hard and feed others. Then he have to suffer for a family by doing these things, but he doesn't know his time of death. Because of this desires, people fight. Kings fight with kings, parents and children fight, but they do not know these things are only for a small time period. Now I tell you to compare. There is an underground train. It travels in a blazing rod of fire for millions of years. Again, it comes to the station of Earth for 8 years. Then again it starts the travel through the underground blaze of fire. This is a journey of the train. When it comes to Earth, a movie starts to play in the train. Then all people look at this. Now they forget their dark past with visuals, sounds, fragrance, tastes, and tangibles. When one in 1,000 times train comes to back to Earth, the station have a speaker, so it talks loudly. Don't be fooled by this movie. This is the way to open the doors of the train, but people do not hear it. But some clever scholars hear that sound and open the train's door and escape to sanctuary. Now after 60 years, someone tries to open the door, but they have not enough strength for it. So again starts the journey through the blazing fire underground. After millions of years, train again comes to the station, but that time don't have a speaker. But after thousands of time, they will have a speaker. Now I explain it. The train is the life. Underground is when we were in hells. Movie is the lust and desire. Speaker is one of Buddhas. The journey is the cycle of birth and death. However, again come to the point. Actually, happy is the result of ill. Really, everything's are changing, then suffering. So they haven't a soul. The greatest example is your body 30 years ago and now. People cling to only 5 aggregates, namely form, mean visuals, sounds, smells, states, tastes, tangibles and thoughts. Or body, feelings, perceptions, intention and consciousness. Again I tell, namely form, feelings, perceptions, intention and consciousness. All people cling to them as those are I am, those are mine, those are my soul. But Lord Buddha's teaching is those are not I am, those are not mine, not my soul. Because of we can't control them. They always arises and ceases according to the reasons. This is the ignorance. Because of this ignorance, human makes lust, desire, hate and delusion. 2600 years ago, Lord Buddha comprehended like this. Namely, one solar system have 31 worlds, namely 4 hells, Inferno, devils, gremlin in ocean, and earth, and animals world. 1 human world, 6 heavens, 20 Brahma worlds, 15 morphological, 1 unperceptional, 4 formless. Brahma worlds have higher meditators like saints in Himalaya in India. They have trillions of lifetime according to human years. Before the Buddha also have lived some people, someone are emperors, someone normal people. The thought, this life is on suffering. I want to find liberation. But all people are halted in those Brahma worlds because of ignorance. Actually, we have not a soul, but we assume about self because of this dependent arising and cessation. And there is no difference of male or female. Gods are in heavens. They are like us, but they have more luxury lives, more than kings or queens. They went there, they are by good merits. They have millions of lifetime according to human years. So Buddha preached that universe has billions of solar systems. Solar systems arises and ceases, again arises. It doesn't have a ruler. All beings born, they can pass away, again born, to one of world according to their merits and unmerits. They are the circle of the life. Most intelligent ways to stop the birth, because according to Buddha, our heart is hell. Very rarely we are born in human worlds. Lord Buddha is a person who wished and did so many merits to become Buddha billions of lives ago. Buddha means find of the liberation. Times to time, so many Buddhas enlightened in the world. Then they comprehended the Dhamma. Then sagacious scholars like humans, gods, and morphological Brahmas inside that and become enlightenment. If you're interested in the rising of world, you can read Aganyapala Sutta, Brahmajala Sutta, Sapta Suryodhamana Sutta from Google Tipitaka. Tipitaka means 3 baskets of the Buddhist holy books collection. In that Brahmajala Sutta, Buddha was annulled to 64 religious ideologies with academic reasons. If I take one from it, it is after a rising of world or solar system. Animals come by another solar system. Humans come by 6th morphological Brahma world. Actually, there are meditators. Their food is happiness. They have sensitive bodies. Firstly, come one person who have long lifetime, and he had an intention of other people because of his aloneness. Another people appeared. Now, first one thought he created them because they appeared after his intention. Others think he is our God or great Brahma or our creator. Then Buddha told the reason some sagacious scholars who improve their concentration meditations, they watch into their past lives, but they can see only the rising of new world. Another one saw blankness. Why? His past of that life was formless Brahma world. And that Sutta said, first time earth was like a palatable soup. Those Brahmas start to eat that and their sensitive bodies become hard like us. Step by step, the stage changed and plants arose. This attests to latest composite theory of the arising world. Lord Buddha was discovered the reality. Birth is suffering. We can't find liberation with existence or birth. Look, if we comprehend 100%, these five clinging aggregates have not a soul, a person is liberated that very moment. Liberation will be four parts at four times. First one comes to right vision. Second one, destruct, lust and hate 50%. Third one, fully destruct lust and hate. Fourth one, fully destruct delusion and ignorance. Actually, what is the world? In which way we measure the world will be the in which way we measure the world will be the world, namely eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Eye means nature of seeing, ear means nature of hearing, etc. It works according to this law, namely, it's a circle of name, form, and consciousness. Name means feeling, perceptions, intention, contact, and attention. And attention. Contact means eye plus visual plus eye consciousness. Those get in contact with brain and mind. Form means visuals, sounds, smells, tastes, tangibles, and thoughts. Those above mentioned as from conjure of four elements, namely earth element, hardness or softness, water element, wet or dry, fire element, hot or cold, wind element, blow or distant. These visuals, sounds, taste, fragrances, and tangibles are conjure of our mind. Really, we can't experience them. Name, form, and consciousness have an indesirable congruence. One visual by visual, one sound by sound, consciousness arises and ceases. As an example, you touch a hot glass. That touch is the form. Then feeling comes bad. Then perception comes, my hand is burning. Then intention comes to remove out your hand from it. There is contact. And you have attention to your body. Now become a body consciousness. This is the role play of our six sense bases. Times to time arise and ceases six kind of consciousnesses, namely eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. Every moment, consciousness arises and ceases according to name and form. Because of this process, consciousness shows continuous eye, ear, nose, tongue, body or mind, and extinction, existence, and world. So people get a delusion we have souls in this way. Thus, this comes to be. With the rising of this arises. This not being, this does not comes to be. With the cessation of this ceases. And that to say, dependent on ignorance, preparations comes to be. Dependent on preparations, consciousness. Dependent on consciousness, name and form. Dependent on name and form, the six sense bases. Dependent on six sense bases, contact. Dependent on contact, feelings. Dependent on feeling, craving. Dependent on craving, clinging. Dependent on clinging, existence or becoming. Dependent on existence or becoming, birth. Dependent on birth, decay and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair comes to be. Thus is the arising of this entire mass of suffering. But with the complete fading away and cessation of ignorance comes the cessation of preparations. With the cessation of preparations, the cessation of consciousness. With the cessation of consciousness, the cessation of name and form. With the cessation of name and form, the cessation of six sense bases. With the cessation of six sense bases, the cessation of contact. With the cessation of contact, the cessation of feelings. With the cessation of feelings, the cessation of craving. With the cessation of craving, the cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging, the cessation of existence or becoming. With the cessation of existence or becoming, the cessation of birth. With the cessation of birth, the cessation of decay and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair cease to be. Thus is the cessation of this entire mass of suffering. Try to incite this. This is the summary of the Buddhism. Lord Buddha's main discovery was the Four Noble Truths, namely, suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, the way to cease suffering, the Way's Noble Eightfold Path, namely, right vision, right thoughts. Right thoughts mean separate from desire, hate, and harm. Third one, right speech. Right speech means separate from lies, slander, harsh words, and guff. Fourth one, right actions. Right actions mean separate from killing beings, animals, and human, stealing, sexual misconduct, and taking intoxicants like drinks and drugs. Fifth one, right livelihood. Right livelihood means separate from drinks, drugs selling, slavery, selling meats, weapons selling, and selling poisons, etc. Sixth one, right effort. Separate from unmerited and unmeritorious thoughts. Generate merits and meritorious thoughts. Right mindfulness. According to body, feelings, consciousness, and nature's arising, cessation, and repulsiveness of our body. Eighth one, right concentration. Concentration have 4 levels called jhana. After those we can do miracle things, watch past lives, watch and hear incidents in far from here like earth or heavens and hells, read others' minds, those are dependent on their concentration power. Here we have 2 meditation systems. It's concentration meditation and insight meditation. Concentration helps to insight the reality of body, world and mind. So you can look Kayagatasate Sutta and Girimananda Sutta for Buddhist meditations. And please try to listen to these sermons at least once. This is the best explanation about enlightenment. Lecture 4, Enlightened Buddhist Bhikkhu 30 years before at Sri Lanka. Nibbana, the mind stilled at YouTube, or you can search it in seeingthoughtnet.net website. Really, I am 16 plus years old Buddhist forest meditating monk from Sri Lanka. But now I came to Myanmar for my higher meditation practices. 4 years ago, I was a strange Catholic. I searched for the reality of the world, and then become a Christian, and then I studied Hinduism and Islam also. At least my last decision was that the noble truth is Buddhism. That touches our wisdom. When I was Smaller, I thought why I wasn't born like a prince, why the UK Queen did not be my grandma. I felt jealousy with her, but it is the difference of our past merits. Now I am in a more peaceful place than a king. You are like a peacock. I'm like a swan. Peacocks look beautiful from its plumage, but because of that it can't fly properly. But the swan is always light and free to fly anywhere. Actually, I like to help you to comprehend the nature and stop your rebirth cycle. But you have to meditate. You can practice these two meditations. First one, mindfulness of breathe in and breathe out. Buddha told he mindfully breathes in, mindfully breathes out. Breathing in long, he understands, I breathe in long. Breathing out long, he understands, I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he understands, I breathe in short. Breathing out short, he understands, I breathe out short. Experience the wall breath body, I shall breathe in, thus he trains. Experience the wall body, shall I breathe out, thus he trains. Tranquilizing the body formations mean breathing and breathe out, I shall breathe in, thus he trains. Tranquilizing the body formations, I shall breathe out, thus he trains. After this, you got experience of this, you can breathe with insight in the rising and cessation of the breathing, and rising and cessation of the breath out, breathing heaven to soul. Second one, discern the repulsive parts of the body, namely head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, membrane, spleen, lungs, intestine, mesentery, gorge, faces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, salvia, snot, synovia, and urine. Like open a bag full of varieties of grains. You can discern this to your body and others. The intent of this is to comprehension the body does not have a soul. And you can have insight of the rising and cessation of your feelings and thoughts in your day-to-day life and when meditating. It helps to comprehension the mind also does not have a soul. I really like to teach you the Buddhism with a kind heart. If you comprehend this, it will be a huge lesson to people worldwide. If you don't like, you improve your wisdom and avoid from this recycle, the rebirth cycle samsara. Really, I can tell a small description about Buddhist monks. Really we vacate from our homes and all relations and going on this noble path to attain enlightenment. A household also can attain 75 in lay life, but it does not ease in lay life. For who wishes the liberation? Our devotees worship us by kneeling down, and they clasp their hands together in respect when they see us. Because we are fully renowned by sexual things and desires. We don't use money and stay with meal offered in a one period of time per day. We are the human beings that who have the largest quality of contentment. So Asian kings, emperors also worship us and offer robes, meals, monasteries and medicines. like Indian Emperor Dhamma. So I wish you all to attain the enlightenment or realization as soon as possible in these lives. Thank you.